On the land of Kanchipuram, when the sun shone like gold, the vines echoed tales of bravery and power. This was the same land that gave birth to a dynasty in South Indian history, which carved the path of emperors with both sword and art. This was the Pallava Dynasty. Early Pallavas, origins and rise. Around the 6th century CE, when small kingdoms and tribes in South India were struggling for power, a new lineage was gradually emerging, the Pallavas. According to historians, the Pallava lineage originated in the present-day Tamil Nadu region. Their initial center was Kanchipuram, which later became their invincible capital. The first notable rise of Pallava power was during the time of Mahendravarman I, who came to power around 500 CE. Mahendravarman I expanded his territory to Kanchipuram and the surrounding small states. Through his skill and leadership, he paved the way to become king and stabilized his kingdom during his lifetime. Towards the end of his reign, he made arrangements to pass on power to his sons, thereby strengthening the foundation of the Pallava dynasty. Mahendravarman I, the architect king. After Mahendravarman I, the throne was taken by Mahendravarman I, 600 to 630 CE, who ruled Kanchipuram and many parts of Tamil Nadu. Mahendravarman I got the opportunity to become king after the death of his father. He not only established political stability, but also promoted culture and art. During Mahendravarman I's reign, the Pallava Empire expanded into the territories of the Cholas and Pandyas. During his rule, he experimented uniquely in art and architecture, especially in temple construction and cave temples. He himself was a lover of drama and music and even performed in plays. At the end of his reign, his son Narasimhavarman I ascended the throne. Narasimhavarman Mamalla, the warrior king. Narasimhavarman I, 630 to 668 CE, known as Mamalla, meaning the great warrior, was one of the most famous rulers of the Pallava dynasty. He ascended the throne after the death of his father, Mahendravarman I. Narasimhavarman I's kingdom stretched from Kanchipuram to the west, where he waged war against the Chalukya Empire. His greatest conflict was the Pallava-Chalukya War, in which he defeated the Chalukya Emperor Pulkeshin II. This war took place around 632-640 CE and immortalized the Pallava Empire's power in history. Narasimhavarman I constructed the Mahabalipuram temples and the rocket temples of Mamallapuram. He was not only a great warrior, but also a lover of art and architecture. At the end of his reign, his son Mahendravarman II ascended the throne. Pallava-Chalukya conflicts. The Pallava Empire and the Chalukya Empire continued to conflict for most of the 7th century. Narasimhavarman I and his successors constantly faced invasions from the Chalukyas. These wars permanently changed the political map of South India. Narasimhavarman II Rajasimha, the builder king. After Narasimhavarman I, the throne was taken by his grandson, Narasimhavarman II Rajasimha, 700 to 728 CE. He was not only a warrior, but also a unique architect and lover of sculpture. During his reign, Kanchipuram and Mamallapuram reached the peak of development. Narasimhavarman II ascended the throne after the death of his father. His kingdom extended from the Bay of Bengal in the east to the Pandya territories in the west. Like his father and grandfather, he was skilled in warfare, but his specialty lay in cultural and religious constructions. During his reign, many inscriptions, temples, and coastal cave temples were constructed. The Pacharathas, Krishna Mandapam, and shore cave temples in Mamallapuram built under his patronage still testify to his greatness. He not only kept his kingdom safe, but also elevated art and architecture to new heights. During Narasimhavarman II's rule, the Pallava Empire's boundaries stretched north to the Krishna River and south to the borders of the Pandya kingdom. His reign lasted about 28 years, after which Mahendravarman III ascended the throne. Pallav's golden age art, architecture, and culture. During the Pallava Empire, South India experienced a golden age of art and culture. The Pallavas did not focus solely on war and power. but also made immense contributions in religion, art, literature, and architecture. Kanchipuram was made a cultural and religious capital by the Pallavas. Temples and universities were established here. During their time, Sanskrit and Tamil literature flourished. Epics, inscriptions, and manuscripts were major literary contributions of this period. The raths, temples, and caves of Mamallapuram are an eternal symbol of this era. They were not just religious sites, but also symbols of political power and imperial glory. The Pallav rulers used these constructions to eternally mark the strength of their rule and the prosperity of their culture. Major conflicts with neighboring kingdoms. The Pallav Empire was known not only for art and culture, but also for warfare and political strategy. Their main rivals were the Pandya and Chalukya kingdoms. Narasimhavarman I faced numerous invasions from the Chalukya Empire. They also had constant struggles with the Pandyas over territorial boundaries. The Pallavas won these battles and established their power in South India. These wars not only strengthened the Pallav Empire militarily, but also brought political stability during their rule, which allowed art and culture to flourish. Mahendravarman III and later kings. After Narasimhavarman II, Mahendravarman III, 728 to 731 CE, ascended the throne. His reign was very short, about 3 years, but he continued to promote cultural and religious projects. He developed temple constructions and inscriptions in Kanchipuram during his time. After Mahendravarman III, the Pallav Empire saw several kings with short and long reigns. But over time, power and authority gradually weakened. Pallav society and religion. The Pallav Empire was a society based on religion and culture. They had deep faith in Hindu rituals, worship, and temple construction. They were supporters of both the Shaiva and Vaishnav sects. Under Pallav rule, religious sites and gurukuls developed significantly. At the same time, they were strong supporters of knowledge and education. Kanchipuram was called the Varanasi of the East because it had centers for Sanskrit and Tamil education. Pallav expansion into Southeast Asia. During the time of Narasimhavarman II and his successors, the Pallav Empire was not limited to South India. Their trade and cultural contacts extended all the way to Southeast Asia. According to historical records, traces of Pallav art and architecture can be seen in Cambodia, Thailand, and Indonesia. These contacts were primarily established through trade and maritime power. The Pallavas used sea routes to extend their trade to China, Sri Lanka, and Arab countries. Ships used to depart from the Mamallapuram port, carrying spices, silk, and handicrafts. This maritime power was not only economic, but also means of political influence and cultural spread. In Southeast Asian temples and sculptures, one can see glimpses of Pallav-style craftsmanship and architecture. Conflicts and power struggles with Chalukyas. The main challenge for the Pallav Empire came from the Chalukya Empire. After the wars of Narasimhavarman I, the Chalukyas launched multiple counterattacks. From the late 7th century to the early 8th century, the Pallav-Chalukya conflicts continued relentlessly. In these wars, sometimes the Pallavas won and sometimes the Chalukyas. Because of these struggles, the Pallav Empire strengthened its boundaries and military strategies. During this period, forts and walls were built around Kanchipuram and nearby areas to keep them safe. These forts and walls still tell the story of their military skill, Pallav culture, art, and architecture in Golden Age. The real glory of the Pallav Empire lay in their cultural contributions. The inscriptions and Pacharathas, 5 chariots, in Mamallapuram were the pinnacle of their art. These were not just religious sites, but also medium to display political power and the prestige of emperors. The Pallavas also promoted literature, music, and drama. Many plays and poems were composed in their courts. Both Mahendravarman I and Narasimhavarman I actively participated in drama and music. During their time, Kanchipuram became a cultural capital, attracting scholars and artists from far and wide. Major kings in later Pallav period. The later kings of the Pallav Empire gradually became weak due to continuous political and military pressure. Decline of the Pallav dynasty. At the beginning of the 9th century, the successors of the Pallav Empire became weak. The Chalukya and Pandya empires gradually began to take over Pallav power. The influence of Kanchipuram started to decline, and many states became independent. The last Pallav ruler, Narasimhavarman III, and his successors ruled only limited areas. Due to wars, political conflicts, and economic pressures, the Pallav Empire came to an end by the late 9th century. Pallav legacy. Although the Pallav Empire ended, their cultural and architectural contributions are still alive today. The temples of Mamallapuram and Kanchipuram still reflect their greatness and artistry. The inscriptions and architectural style developed by the Pallavas influenced later rulers like the Cholas and Chalukyas. Traces of their art and architecture can still be seen in Southeast Asia. The Pallavas proved that history can be written not only with the sword and war, but also through art and culture. The Mamallapuram port was the center of the empire's economic power. Trade not only increased the prosperity of the Pallavas, but also spread their cultural and religious influence. Women in Pallav society. The status of women in Pallav society was quite respectable compared to other contemporary empires. Women were active in art, music, and education. Women of the royal family contributed to religion and cultural promotion. Many inscriptions also mention women in roles of governance and patronage. Thus, the Pallav Empire was not only a male-centered empire, but a kingdom for the entire society. Military organization. The Pallav Empire's power was not only cultural and economic, but also military. They defended their territories through a regular army and fortified forts. They had naval power, ensuring both maritime trade and coastal defense. Under the leadership of Narasimhavarman I and II, they achieved many remarkable victories. This military organization made the Pallav Empire an unbeatable power in South India. Legacy across centuries. Even today, the influence of the Pallav Empire is visible in architecture and inscriptions reflecting their artistic impact. Pallav-style temples in South India and Southeast Asia. Military and administrative strategies influencing later empires. Contributions to education, literature, and music. The Pallav's message inspires us even today. Not just power, but knowledge and culture leave a lasting legacy. And now, as we conclude the story of the Pallav Empire, in the next episode, we will learn about the Chola dynasty, which rose in South India after the Pallavas. We knew only about the early Cholas, but in the next video, we will explore the great Cholas and the story of their prosperous empire, known for war, maritime power, and art. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment below about which king or empire you want to learn about next. Your suggestions mean a lot and help us create even better history videos. Thank you, friends, and stay connected with World Insights, because the stories of history are about to get even more exciting.